Hey, Facebook. Well, let me switch this camera. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday to you. Happy June 10.
Yay. Oh, I gotta get some stuff downloaded.
Pam, bring your camera up just a little bit, because when I put the lower third or the message there, like the question, it'll be
bring it down.
You want to be up a little bit higher, like.
Okay, so you want my camera down?
Yeah. So that way we have some. No.
Is that better?
More. Stream close up. That's good.
No, but it's not cutting off the top of my head.
Well, no, it isn't. Not in my shot.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
There.
But
Yeah.
when the messages on the bottom, your shirt kind of it kind of almost looked like it was 3D there for a second.
That's because it does have a pattern.
That's cool.
I know. That's it's not really a crazy shirt. It's just that
it was weird because like even was like, whoa. It's like,
remind me not to wear this when I make my television debut. I'll be freaking people out with
it. You'll definitely freak them out.
Plus, well, of course I won't, because like after I record something for the podcast, like I throw those clothes away.
That's it.
Oh, of course, yes.
I subscribe to my outfit. This is just my jersey.
I label it, then it goes to charity, and then it can say worn by Pam Forster on podcast number
June 10th. The one time.
On the June 10th BRGS podcast. Yes.
Got it. Yes.
I hope my stylist is coming in soon to buy me a whole new wardrobe. So
yeah, is that Steve?
That's all right.
No, but guess what came, Mike, today in the mail?
What?
Part of Steve's outfit for the cruise.
Oh no.
Oh, dude, I got mine sitting there. I almost wore them to church.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
I was like, you will not wear those to church.
Yes. Mallory said that. Wow, she already knows.
I'm gonna order my shirt though, because I want to get a real tight one.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got an idea. I got to get on Amazon.
This is a disaster waiting to happen.
So bad.
Search.
So bad.
Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Hello, everybody.
It's not gonna be awesome.
There's a comment in here. Yeah, go Blues. There we go. Yes. I will not survive Wednesday night, so this may be the last episode of the show, because my Apple Watch was like, stop watching this game for your own good.
Your health is not good for this.
My gosh, it was crazy. Go Raptors. That's right. Go Raptors.
You know, so here's something, maybe the Apple Watch folks, I have to spend more than like the 0.2 seconds I have thinking about this. I kept getting a notification from my watch the other day that my heart rate was too low. What?
Oh my God. Are you dying?
You can set a range. Like, I know, because it asked me one time at some point.
So maybe I need to reset that.
Maybe.
Dude, my resting heart rate is super slow. Like, when they hook me up to all the machines to make sure it's still beating.
Well, it was like, okay, so it says 40. It was 47, so it didn't like that.
Dude, that's
like
low. That's
when I do the breathing thing. Yeah. When I do the breathe to relax, I can get it down to like 42.
Oh my God!
I'm very zen.
How are you still alive, Pam?
I don't know. I do okay.
I'm at 68 right now.
It seemed to impact me.
I just checked to 0.
I am. Let's see. So
heart rates.
I don't even know I don't even know how to look. That's sad.
Go back to the home screen and hit the heart. 70.
Oh, got it. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. See, that shows you how often I look at the heart rate for mine.
I know. I don't typically either.
I don't even know where my heart is on the.
Go back to
it's right here, Rikki. You put your hand over your.
Oh, okay, got it. What am I looking for, Mike?
Heart. Like on your. So if you go back to the screen of all your icons, like this.
This is like the dumbest thing ever.
I don't know if you have your setup like the honeycomb. Wait, I just.
Yeah, I do.
I'm taking a picture with my phone now. What's going on here? So
Mike took a bunch of pictures.
Heart. It's like red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now you click it and it'll tell you your heart rate.
There's a red one?
Yeah. It's like
there it is. Okay, I have too many things in my. Okay, got it. Heart rate. Okay, I got it. It's looking. Hold on, let's see what mine is.
Like, Amy,
we're probably elevated now that I'm trying to.
Yeah, no. Trust.
So,
episode 1500 next Monday, live call in. So be here. Be there, be square. Thank you, Tracy. Guess what I'm having for my anniversary? Taco Bell.
59.
I'm at 82. Apparently, I'm
68. Dang.
Apparently, I'm a little more high key. I'm at 82 right now. So
James is 66. Andy's working, so he wins. I mean, if you got 66 while you're working, that's pretty good.
I agree.
That's pretty good.
That's true. It was up around 80 something. That's when I was walking.
Amy's at 86. She needs a vacation.
Now I'm at 93. Apparently, now 79. I don't know. It just went up and then it went down. I don't get it. Okay, I better stop doing this because otherwise it's gonna freak me out.
Now Ricky's like, oh my god.
Spencer's at 111. Spencer, sit down, buddy. Sit down. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
You know what it is? I am very able to compartmentalize.
Got it.
Like I don't get phased by a whole lot.
The closer I get to June 18th, the higher my heart rate goes.
Right? It's true. not higher. It gets more relaxed. You'll be more relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't know if people dress up for the villain thing.
It
hasn't happened.
I don't think you can. No, I don't. I think you can Disney bound, but I don't think you can dress up in costume.
Right. I think the only thing you can dress up for is the Halloween party.
Correct. I mean, you can't even dress up in Galaxy's Edge, which, a lot of people are losing their minds over. So
Carrie's 96.
there you go.
This is interesting. See, aren't you glad I started this conversation?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, James is cleaning toilets and he's at 60 something. So he's pretty good. I'd be gagging and like 112.
I know. When I go see my doctor next, I'm going to be like, see? Do you see what my heart
I'm healthy, I promise.
We got a real question. Your heart rate's causing because of the
Hey, now we have a new fast pass option at Disney's Animal Kingdom. I mean, let's just be honest. This is the best new fast pass option ever, right?
What is it? I don't even know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yes, so at Rafiki's Planet Watch, you can now make a fast pass for the animation station. Yep, they're bringing in the ability for you to learn how to draw the characters. And you're going to be able to do it at Rikki.
So here's the thing about this.
And you're going to be able to make a fast pass.
20 minutes each way to draw characters.
And you can make a fast pass to get out to do it. So can you imagine all those people who are like 5 minutes before their fast pass? Oh, hey, I need to get out to, the conservation station for my fast pass. Well, that would be a 20 to 30 minutes.
Those should be a bundle pass. There should be 2 fast pass for the price of 1.
Oh my gosh. That'll be a 20 to 30 minute ride out on the train. And then, but I'm going to be late for my fast pass. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. This seems like a terrible idea.
All right, let's get cracking.
We'll do this
for the show.
Yeah, that's exactly the face we need to make for that. That's a weird option.
Here we go. 1490.
It's an interesting choice.
1497. Here we go.
I wouldn't have gone with it.
Welcome to episode 1497 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Welcome back to the show where we answer your listener questions. You send them in. You join us here live on Facebook. And we give our thoughts. It's always a fun show because we can talk about anything, cruise line, resorts, theme parks, anything that's on your mind. So stand by for that. Joining me today, we have Rikki from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. What's going on, Rikki?
Not a lot. So it's a quiet day in the neighborhood. It's a quiet day in the neighborhood. A quiet day.
you do realize, because you're St. Louis, and today is the show.
I know.
It is Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals against the evil Tuukka Rask in the Boston.
Yes,
Bruins.
I'm sorry, Mike. I made gooey butter cake on Sunday, and that is why we lost, because I actually did something that celebrated my St. Louis heritage. But it was the first time I've ever made gooey butter cake. And we had some people over, and they said it was seriously, it's like we're St. Louisans, and they said it was the best gooey butter cake they've ever had. So I guess I'm good at making gooey butter cake.
That might be like a secret plan. You could probably turn Bostonians into Blues fans just by serving up some gooey butter cake. It's so good. So anyway, apparently I'm really good at making it. So now I have another version that I want to make. So I'm going to make that. It's going to have a brownie layer, and it's going to have chocolate chips in it. It's going to be really good. Yes, I'm sorry. Also joining us, where they have won a Stanley Cup or two in her day in her town. We have Pam Forster, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. What's up, Pam?
Happy whatever Wednesday. Sorry.
It's Stanley Cup Game 7 Finals Wednesday for us here in St. Louis. I know it's just a typical June day for.
I know, right? I know.
Right.
We're just like shocked that we have like this part of the year off. Like that's just like, holy cow, we're not doing anything now. So anyways, no, I think it's good. I mean, it's great for you guys. It's exciting to always have your team in there. And I think that's awesome. And here, I'm sharing a secret. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like ooey gooey butter cake.
Apparently you haven't had my ooey gooey butter cake. Apparently it's the best. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I guess it's not that I don't like it. It's like that I just don't see the appeal. Like, I when I had it, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I didn't make mine too sugary. Like it didn't have the grittiness that gooey butter cake usually has. It wasn't like,
okay,
super like, oh my gosh, what am I eating? Like, this is really sugary. Like it was like smooth. It was very smooth.
I'll see.
For St. Louis, and like you just get, like you eat a piece and then you go back and just get, I'm gonna get half of another piece, and you get a quarter of a third piece, and like all of a sudden you go back and the pan's empty. You're like,
and the whole cake's gone. Yeah,
that's too funny. Well, so anyways, yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. Like, I've never had the ice cream thing in Ample Hills. By the way, just tried this fantastic new like ice creamy bar thing that is not made of milk because, like, I'm lactose intolerant.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
That
so,
will just, yeah.
Now, do you think it's okay for me to write a little note to Ample Hills and tell them when I'll be there? And, like, I'm staying at the boardwalk, so, like, could they get a lactose-free choice for me?
I am surprised they don't have one.
Like, me too. Oh, let me tell you, if I had a gluten allergy, they'd be all over that.
Right?
Lactose intolerant people, too bad for you.
Nothing made with, like, coconut milk or...
Right? Or
almond milk?
Almond milk or something. Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Huh? I'm surprised.
That's how the world works nowadays. You tell them you got, got to get it, and you get it. So
it's okay. I mean, I could just go to the Boardwalk Bakery and get something. I'm not, I'm not that bad that I can't eat something that was like cooked with milk. But
yeah.
If I was lactose intolerant, I would be dead.
Yes, I would be as well. Yeah.
All right.
Well, I mean, I still eat it sometimes.
It wouldn't work for me. I would be a sad Rikki. So.
All right, first question of the day. It's titled Galaxy's Edge and early extra magic hours at 6 a.m. It's from Cindy in Brighton, Tennessee. She says, hey, Mike, Rikki, and Pam. My family and I have a soon-to-be trip this October. As I was planning on touring plans, I noticed extra magic hours at Hollywood Studios for 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in October. I just about fell out of my seat. I'm guessing my family and I should take advantage of this if we're planning on touring Galaxy's Edge. We're a family of 4 with 2 teenagers, 15 and 17 at the time. I'm pretty sure we can do it, even though that is so early. Should we make sure to be there at 6? I would really appreciate any advice. Cindy. All right, Rikki. So you've been breaking this news about the early morning extra magic hour, 6 a.m. once Galaxy's Edge opens this summer. Or this fall, I guess. Well, it's still summer.
It's still summer,
yeah. Once again, but there'll be Labor Day and it'll be whatever. Late summer. Anyway, when this happens, here's my only concern I have from being a parent of a teenager at one point, and one that thinks she's a teenager. Getting to the studios with a 15 and 17-year-old at 6 a.m., which means you got to be on the bus literally at 4:30 or 4:45 probably. It's going to be a rough thing. I mean, I think it'll be, again, it's time invested. Good return. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're there right at, if you're in line, I would say by 5:30. I know that's rough, but there's going to be people there. You're going to get benefit. But what do you say to these folks considering these extra magic hours at 6 o'clock in the morning? I know you'll never do it.
No, I thought about it for a hot second and then was like, yeah, no, that's not happening. But also I wouldn't be staying on, I'm not staying on site either. I'm staying at, my brother's. So I don't get the extra magic hours in the first place, but, so anyway, it is a good thing. The earlier you can get there, I will say the better it will be for you. Because, that's going to be a hard time for people to get up and get to the park. So, the closer to that 6 o'clock time that you can get in the park is going to be better. If you want to do it and your teenagers don't, just leave them in the room. You guys go and come back and get them, man. I mean, that's the best advice I can have because, it's definitely going to be early. And, as you tick closer and closer to that 9 o'clock time period when, the rest of the park can join, the park is going to start getting busier and busier. So you're going to be able to do a lot of the things that you want to do those first 3 hours from the 6 to 9, because, it's only it's only Walt Disney World Resort guests that are going to be able to get in there, as well as it's so ungodly early. So if you can get in there, go. I will not be there though. So
Pam, I think you mentioned something that's really important about these super early extra magic hours for, based around Galaxy's Edge, is that this is not something you're going to do 5 or 6 days out of a 7-day trip. This may be something you target, like it's say, okay, we're going to do this day 3 of the trip and maybe the last day, maybe a maximum of 2 out of 5 or 6 or 7 days. And it's a focus thing where that night before you do shut it down early and you try to get some decent sleep, and maybe it works out. That's how I'm going to look at it. If I'm there during this time, I'm going to shut it down early, almost like it's a race. Like on the race weekends, we got to get out of bed at 2:30, be on a bus by 3:30. And it works out because then, maybe you get in Galaxy's Edge and you're out of the park by noon, you go home and take a nap.
Right.
Is that how you're seeing it, Pam?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, these are extra magic hours. You gotta add the extra. And I might even say extra magic hours.
Is the idea of extra magic hours extra?
It's so extra.
Or is it basic? Is it basic or extra? I don't know.
No, it's
extra. So here's what I would do. Absolutely, is like you mentioned, Mike, target it for a few days of your trip, and say to your children who don't want to go, hey, I was, the meanest mom in all of the town, right? And I was like, this is our deadline. This is our target leaving time. People who are ready at this time will be coming with me. People who are not will be left behind.
Will not be coming with me.
And teenagers, yes,
still in the room when things happen.
That's right. And that's fine. Like everyone gets to make their own choices for their vacation, especially when you become a teenager. So then, move along from there. It's okay as long as they don't care about missing it, then you don't need to care about it either, and you get to go and experience it. I mean, for people my age, getting up at the 6 a.m. time is really not an issue because we're already up.
I get up at 4:45 every day.
Right? I know. Mike and I would be like, that's 6 o'clock. I've been up for an hour and a half.
Dude, don't try to keep me up past 10. I get grouchy.
I know, but see, this was going to be my thing. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do about that because the 6 a.m. point is like not an issue for me, but I'm absolutely going to want to see it at night and I don't want to have to wait in line. So I think I'll get there at like the 6 a.m. time and then I'm going to find a place to take a nap while I'm in the land at some point.
I'm going to stay there.
I'm just going to stay there all day. They'll be like, my family will be like, do you want to do anything else? Nope. Staying right here until it gets to be night, and then I can see it at night, take some pictures, and then move on with it. So
there you go.
Well, if you're a true Star Wars fan, you do know the Millennium Falcon has those smugglers bays where they hit out from the
right? Hello.
Beam. It's right. You just go down there for a little while.
I've thought of this. That's where I'll be, until they get out their scanners.
If you find a woman asleep on some sort of bench over by the Rise of the Resistance attraction that's not open because it's quiet over there, that's Pam Forrester.
It is. Just leave me alone. If you have a blanket, go ahead. No, actually, it'll be in August, so I won't need
you won't need the blanket.
Just figure, if Chewie, Han, and I think it was Obi-Wan could fit in the one compartment, I could take a nap down there. So that's what
right. Yeah, maybe it'll be nice and air conditioned. I'll be like, oh, this is nice.
Let's see how real that thing
is.
Yeah,
Phil's saying to go hang out at Baseline for a while. Yeah, I see that too.
True that. All right, next question. Disney's Beach Club Resort question. Hey, BOGP crew, we're going to Disney in the summer of 2020, and we're planning to stay at Disney's Beach Club. We want to get a studio villa room, but I'm concerned about how comfortable the sleeper sofa and the pull-out bed will be for my kids. They're going to be 12 and 14 when we're there. Have you heard if they are comfortable or not for teenagers? The pull-down bed looks pretty small, or do you think it'd be the best to get a standard room with the 2 queens? If we do go with the standard room, are we still able to use the quiet pool that is located by the villas? Thank you. I love listening to the podcast. It's Deanna in Batavia, Illinois. 1,002 miles from Disney World, 294 from me, 498 from Pam, and 748 from Rikki. It's always so nice to know that our listeners are that they know exactly how many miles they are from our house.
Right.
I love that. It cracks me up. So, Deanna, thanks for the email over. And I've never heard of Batavia, Illinois. That's pretty cool. Just the state to the east. All right, so Pam, what do you think about this? The 12 and the 14-year-olds, they're asking about the comfort for they have the pull-down beds or the sleeper sofa. What would you say for kids that are kind of early teens?
So are they at the villas? Sorry, I missed that point.
Yeah, they're looking at the studio villa initially, and then they're thinking, what would it be better to go with the standard room with the 2 queens? Which would be better for the kids to get better sleep?
So you hear mixed reviews on the pull-out sofa. And some people are like, they're horrible, and some people are like, they were fine. So I'm never really sure what to say to people in that case. You know what I mean? Did the people who think they're horrible get a particularly bad one? Did the people who think they were fine spend all day in the park and were so exhausted that they could have fallen asleep on a bed of nails? I don't know these things. I mean, they are. So the Disney pull-out sofas are typically not those ones where you have a bar in the middle of your bath. They fold. They nice. Do this. Yes, right. They fold out in this way that's really unique and allows you to really have a better sleep experience. So I think you don't have to worry too much about those. I think that you'll have a decent time. I will have to admit, I have not slept in those. I always have the master bedroom because it's my room.
You pay the bill, you sleep in the kid bed. That's what I.
And this peon has slept in the kid bed with the enforcer, so she knows exactly what it's like to be the peon in the pull-out bed. So she has been the peon in many beds, pull-out couches at Walt Disney World because she likes to bum rooms from people. So they're actually not that bad, I will say.
No,
because they don't have the bar in there. And because of the way it folds out, it really is a decent night's sleep. The one thing that I have problems with is actually pillows. So I need like a lot of pillows to prop up my head. So that's kind of my only issue. But other than that, I find those beds perfectly comfortable.
All right, Candace is saying in the live chat here, she says the pull-down beds are much more comfortable than the sleeper sofa. My teenagers fight over who has to sleep on the pull-out. So that's good feedback straight from there.
There you go.
All righty. Next question is a would you rather? And it's from Jeff. Hey, Mike, Rikki, and Pam. Thanks so much for all the great Disney advice and keeping me connected to the world. I have a trip planned in August, which has extended from a 7-night stay to a 10-night because of the great room-only discounts. I know the feeling, buddy. My trip's like never ending now. Does that keep tagging on? It's given us the opportunity to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge for the first time, in addition to 2 nights at the new Tower Rooms at Coronado. I have 2 would you rather scenarios based on dining. All right, this is in our wheelhouse. This is our lane, as they say. Number 1, our flight to Orlando arrives at 8 a.m. Our first night will be at the Animal Kingdom Lodge Jumbo House. I'm assuming that we'll have to wait a little bit for our room. So would you rather get lunch at Sanaa and enjoy the Savannah, or visit Disney Springs and eat lunch at Homecomin for the first time? So would you rather? I like the this is a tough one, man. So we got Homecomin for lunch, or they're already going to be at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Sanaa. I'm going to go to Pam first.
What? Shoot.
You're not allowed to shoot the animals on the Savannah. You have to look at them, and you can eat your lunch while you view them.
But you're not shooting at them and then eating them. Yes.
While the Animal Kingdom Lodge and Sanaa seem super convenient, I honestly really enjoy Homecomin. I like the atmosphere. I like the drinks. I like the food. I like the appetizers. I like the wait staff. I just like everything about it. I like being there. It's actually one of my happy places at Walt Disney World. I kind of get there and like breathe a sigh of relief. And even if we're just going, like Hannah and I will sometimes go for like drinks and apps and sit at the bar because we didn't make a reservation. And it just is always such a good experience. The wait staff there is really entertaining in terms of just being super nice and talkative and things like that. We've had the greatest conversations with them. So I have to say Homecomin because that's where my heart is.
I get it. All right, Rikki, what do you say?
So I'm going to cheat. I think it depends on what you're looking for. So if you are looking for just relaxation, then I would say stick with Sanaa. Because if you're not looking to run from place to place, if you're looking to kind of settle in and get to the hotel and just kind of, once you're there, you're there. If you're spending the rest of the night there, that's fine. You might get your room early. That's cool too. So I would say if you're looking for relaxation, I would stick with Sanaa. If by chance you're looking to get that Disney, not that you wouldn't get the Disney feeling at, Animal Kingdom Lodge, but if you're looking to get like the Disney experience a little bit more, then I would probably head over to Disney Springs. That way you can not only go to Homecomin, but then you could also walk around Disney Springs, maybe do some shopping, maybe grab a snack, from like Sprinkles or Amorette's or, like a ganachery or something like that. Or of course you've got Homecomin's delicious cake too. So, you've got plenty of options there. And I think that, so if you're looking for more like, frenetic start to your vacation, I would go to Disney Springs. If you're looking for a more relaxed start to your vacation, I would say Sanaa.
Yeah, see, there's no wrong or right answer on this, but I would say Sanaa because I just like to, you're there, you're excited about being at Animal Kingdom Lodge, go there, have a meal, your room will probably be ready. Because the thing I hate about is when you're staying at a deluxe resort, especially a nice resort, and the vacation ends and you didn't get to explore some of the things that were right there with you. So I would hate for you to get to the end of the trip and never get over to Sanaa and experience it, have the bread service, see the animals. As good as Homecomin is, don't get me wrong, Homecomin is amazing.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of, back and forth and stuff, which if that's what you're getting, you want to get over there, get the Disney fix. I mean, because you can get it at Animal Kingdom Lodge, but if you want to do some shopping initially, boom, go. But I would just stay because I wouldn't have to jump around. All right. His second question says, during the third night of our stay, we're planning a resort day at Coronado and want to try the new food options. If you could pick only one, would you rather eat at Three Bridges or Toledo?
Oh man.
See, I'm all Three Bridges on this one because that's more my vibe. Like I'm really digging Geyser Point, and I think this is going to be kind of like that. And it's just it's more informal and just get out there and enjoy it. That's going to be my thing. I'm really intrigued by Three Bridges. I hope to get to have this summer.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome location. Like you, I love Geyser Point. We eat there. It seems like we eat there almost every trip now, which is, odd because at times it's off the beaten path somewhat, you know what I mean? But sometimes I find myself making excuses. Like, I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't think we need to do that big Thunder Fast Pass. I think we can go to Geyser Point and get something to drink and something to eat. Like that seems like a better choice anyway. So I think that's going to be a great location. But I also think, especially at Toledo's, you're going to have fantastic views at night. I mean, really and truly. Think of the fireworks shows that you're going to be able to see from that location. We mentioned this last week, I think, when we talked about, but really Coronado Springs is such a centrally located area that I think you're going to be able to see all the fireworks depending on where you are and sitting, what kind of venue they have up there, if they have a space like they do at California Grill where you can go out on a catwalk or what that actually looks like. We don't know yet. So I think that they're both going to be fantastic options. I think I absolutely am going to try Toledo's once, if not twice. So think about that. Are you looking for more of a sit down meal or are you looking for more a casual meal? That will really be your deciding factor for sure.
Yeah, I think that's totally it because they're two different experiences. It's fancy or just casual, relaxed. Not bar food, but it is kind of bar. Don't
think of it as fried bar food though.
No,
I'd like think of it.
No, it's got a Spanish American like flair to it. So
right, it did. It definitely did. Like there was a lot of cheeses and cured meats and things like that. The last time I looked at the menu. And I think that's really indicative of that part of the world that you're going to see, fantastic options like that. So I expect the tapas to be wonderful at both locations because that's what that area is known for. So,
Rikki, what would you do? I mean, it's just two different experiences, really. Probably for you.
It absolutely is two different experiences. And I agree with the saying of if you want kind of a more relaxed dining experience, I would go with Three Bridges. But if you're looking for kind of that fancier upscale dining experience, then I would go with Toledo. It just really kind of depends on what you're looking to get out of your meal. So if you're looking to have a relaxed, completely you don't care when you get out of there kind of experience, Toledo kind of reminds me a little bit of what you get to experience at California Grill. It's going to be that kind of experience. So if you're looking for that kind of upscale experience like that, I think Toledo is the best option. But if you're if you want something a little more relaxed and lounge like, then I think Three Bridges is going to be the choice for you because the Three Bridges, it kind of seems like a mix between like Geyser Point and Maya Grill. Like I know that Like that's a weird combination.
No, stop. That's like marriage to me. What are you doing?
But like that's kind of what it looks like, is like it's a mix between like those, because it's going to have like Spanish style food, but it looks like it's going to be more relaxed, kind of loungy atmosphere type situation. So I think it's going to be like a mix between the two of those. So
that's like saying Ample Hills and Taco Bell got married.
I know, if they would have a baby, that would be the grossest ice cream ever, though.
Sure.
Oh my goodness! Oh, I just almost threw up thinking about that. What is wrong with me?
So Pam, Nicole's asking in the live chat, will Toledo have a dress code? Do we know anything on that?
I don't think it is. I don't think it. I mean, it's just the regular, dress code. It's not even a signature location, so I don't even think. I don't think Toledo's is going to be a signature location, is it? I thought it was just going to be.
Oh, if it's not, then that's like the best deal
table
ever.
service.
Oh wow, I would have expected it to be signature. So, yeah, that's crazy.
So I think it's just going to be park attire is fine. And really, there's so few places where
Absolutely.
there is that really, when people ask about a dress code, the one I say is Victoria and Albert's, and like the rest of it, is not really that case.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Alrighty, you know what? He's got a bonus here. Jeffrey does.
Oh,
is this romantic?
Oh,
yes, it's my anniversary, so I'm very romantic right now.
got it.
All right. So he says, I was able to snag free dining during our main 7-night stay that starts the opening day of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I upgraded to the main dining plan and have reserved dining for Ohana, Tusker House, Trattoria Al Forno, character breakfast, Flying Fish, California Grill, and lunch at Be Our Guest. We also have booked the Happily Ever After fireworks dessert party. I think I got extra after in there. This will be my girlfriend's first trip to Disney World, and her favorite princess is Ariel. On a scale of 1 to 10, how romantic is this dining lineup? Thanks, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, dude, I'm giving you a 10.5. This is sweet. I mean, you got a dessert party, you got Be Our Guest, Flying Fish. I've never been there, but Pam always raised by California Grill. I mean, you got the top two for Pam. Flying Fish, California Grill.
Yep.
Now, Forno, you're going to get some good pictures, and you might get hit a frying pan.
Right.
Your house is a hidden secret. Ohana, you're going to get the meat sweats. Just be careful, because that's not romantic. That's the only caveat here. So you may get the meat sweats at Ohana. That's very unromantic. A 10.5. So the score from the Georgia judge. What do you say?
Yeah, 10. Like that sounds that sounds perfectly romantic to me. I mean, again, we always say romance is kind of what you make it. So, I can have a romantic meal with Brian over a hot dog at Casey's, so.
All right, Pam, we got a 10.5 and a 10. What do you got from the Pittsburgh judge?
For sure. Look, the Pittsburgh judge is not like the Russian judge. We are not, we're not even like the French judge. We're the easy peasy judge. We're like easy like Sunday morning judge. No, but that's absolutely a 10. Look, you're going to some of my favorite locations. Stick a Geyser Point and Ample Hills in there, and you've got it all.
That's right.
That's we have to mention both of those locations.
We had to.
I'm just saying that's almost baby making ADRs right there.
Whoa!
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That's Mike at beourguestpodcast.com. Just throwing that out there.
Make sure that you contact him.
Next question from our live chat is from William.
Mike might be turning red right now.
And I thought we were going to make 1,500 episodes.
We just lost our clean rating.
That's right.
There's a lot worse out there. He says, William says, hey, BOGP gang, quick question. Any good running trails at Animal Kingdom Lodge? My wife is a runner and is looking for a trail. She also signed up for the 10K, so I should probably start training.
Oh, no.
10K, you could suffer. I mean, it's...
Hey,
yeah, you should probably train.
You should probably that.
Bad news. Animal Kingdom Lodge is the absolute worst resort to run. They have a nice fitness center, and I hit the treadmills there, which is really no fun. But it's just there's nowhere to run Animal Kingdom Lodge because all the open lands go to the animals.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, really, the only thing you could do is run around the parking lot, which isn't a good idea. What I would do is have your wife. The best bet there is like just to catch an Uber over to like Yacht and Beach or something to run there, or Wilderness Lodge, or between Wilderness Lodge, Fort Wilderness, or even just catch it's not too far from Pop Century. You could run around Hourglass Lake there, but yeah, that is just a bad place to run. It's a great place to stay, but it's just not made for runners. So hate to say it. All right, next question says, podcast question about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and Candlelight Processional. It's already, can you believe, I mean,
I
we're
know.
into that season almost, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, greetings, Mike, Pam, and Rikki. We're heading back to the world after having a fantastic trip during the beginning part of May, and this time we're headed back for the holiday season, December 6th through the 14th, and are interested in attending Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Is there a certain day that is less busy than others when it comes to a party night? Also, we're looking to take advantage of the Candlelight Processional Dining Package at Epcot and would love to get recommendations on where to have dinner before the show, and also how soon we should get in line before the show, even with the guaranteed seating. I just don't want to get stuck behind one of those pesky trees. Thanks again for all you do. It's greatly appreciated. Michael is in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's awesome. All right, so Pam, is there any night that's better than others for this Halloween and Christmas parties in general? What do you look at?
That's challenging. So sometimes the weekends are busier than the weeks or during the week because, Florida folks will come over and do the party during that time. So that, that's something to think about. There are also like some random days during the week that you'll hear a bunch of people were like, it was packed. And it's really hard to anticipate those going into it. Of course, on the actual nights of the first of all, the first and the last, always busy. Yeah. And the Halloween party too, leading up to the last, usually gets kind of busier. And the Christmas party even too, as you approach the ending season of those Christmas parties, those can tend to get busier too. But other than that, just look around, make sure there's no other major holidays or something that may impact people traveling there. And if you can pick a weekday, that would be the best choice.
Breaking news. Phil Scheingold just came through with the trail between Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness is closed because of reflections.
Oh, dang.
You know what, though? I did see a raccoon twice this morning on my run. It was the same raccoon. It only had 3 legs. Just so you know.
What?
I know. He had a hurt front left leg. He was hopping on 3 legs, and actually I passed him.
Well, good for you, Mike.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It only takes a lame raccoon to give you a little bump in the morning.
I run my little circle or my little block there like 55 times every morning through the middle, a couple backyards. Like I saw him and I was like, he's gonna get me. And then he cut through some yards and I saw him on the other side of the corner.
Mike's like, I passed him. I passed that guy.
Anyway,
it's hard-hitting Disney content right here, by the way. Yeah.
All right, Rikki, tackle the Candlelight Processional. Good place to have dinner. I mean, what do you think? And how early should they get in line?
So I would say you should get in line if it's a popular person like Neil Patrick Harris or something like that. You definitely want to get in line earlier than later. So still I would say maybe 45 minutes ahead of time. I think 30 would be the absolute minimum that you would get there. As far as which restaurants you should go to, I know we have the full listing of the restaurants and the pricing on the Mouse for Less. Really pick because it is a little bit more money for Candlelight Processional, obviously, than regular dining. So you will have to have the dining package and you will have to pay a little bit more money. I know Nine Dragons always has the cheapest because it's Nine Dragons. So also keep in mind that you can do a breakfast option as well at some of the restaurants. So you can do breakfast at, hold on, I'm pulling it up right now.
Maybe?
Yeah, Garden Grill and Akershus. No, I think they took Akershus off this year. Ale and Compass and Trattoria Al Forno. So those options have breakfast. And then, the one that I would say avoid is actually the Mexico Pavilion restaurants because they are ridiculously expensive. Like I'm talking La Hacienda is $80 a person. So I might avoid that one.
Taco Bell for 6 months for that.
I know, right? Also, I would suggest strongly to choose lunch as your option instead of dinner. Again, some restaurants, it's the same price. So if you see that it's the same price, then go with either one. However, there are some restaurants that do have lunch as the cheaper option instead of dinner. So I would just kind of choose that. Now, some of the favorites for us as far as dining, Via Napoli, of course, Chefs de France, Tepanito. Those are all very good options. And then, of course, you have, something like Trattoria Al Forno at the Boardwalk. You can, they even have things like that as options as well. So you're not stuck just eating at an Epcot restaurant. You can go to some of the Epcot resort restaurants to eat. So just find a menu that really looks good to you and go with that option. And if they have a lunch option, I would choose that instead.
All right. Next question. Hot take on the new HSFP rules. You got to know your abbreviations, people.
Yes.
Pay attention.
Yes.
From Whitney, could we please get y'all's thoughts on the new tiered FastPass rules for Hollywood studios? Looks like they're making basically everything except the show's tier 1. This seems like a terrible idea. Please talk me/us down. Thanks, Whitney, whose family only cares about Toy Story Land and has no interest in Galaxy's Edge this year. Boy, she's hard hitting there, Whitney.
Yes.
All right, Pam. So what are we thinking here? Obviously, I mean, if you think about it, it's an attempt to spread the crowds out and equalize things at the studios once Galaxy's Edge opens. Bottom line, right?
Right. And I'm not one that freaks over things like this because let's just face it, we're all in the same boat. We're all doing the same thing. This isn't a rule that applies to some people or select groups or is only something that happens on Wednesdays or if your last name begins with F. And we're all in the same.
Ironically, you picked your last name. I'm just saying.
That's the one I could, right off the top of my head, that's the only one that I came up with. So, I think that there's going to be, like all things happen, and think about the Disney community as a whole. How many announcements have there been followed by a quick freak out?
Yes.
Many. And the
almost all, yes.
That's right. They all seem bad in the beginning, but then it sort of levels itself out because at the end of the day, Disney is doing this for a reason. There's a goal for it. And their goal is at this point to help spread things out, try to make it a little more fair. Maybe we will see the ability to use rolling fast passes there in a way that we were never able to before. Like maybe the thinking will be go ahead, get your fast passes in early and often, and then go ahead and do the rolling fast pass for the rest of the day. I mean, at Magic Kingdom, that's incredibly effective. Yeah. And it just really works. So since you're really only interested in Toy Story Land, you're not going to be in it's not going to be a big deal for you when Galaxy's Edge comes online because you won't have to worry about getting fast pass for any of those attractions. You can really just focus on Slinky Dog Dash, then fit in your shows as early as you can, and then move and try to get rolling fast passes. Right now, you're only able to get one fast pass for one Toy Story Land attraction right now as it is. So I don't see it really impacting you very much. Remember to take advantage of things like single rider line if the attraction has it and you're able to take advantage of that. And I think just go in and enjoy. I think it'll all work out. I know I say that all the time. Like it's all going to work out. Like I'm not even worried about it. Like it's all going to be good, but maybe that's just my disposition that I'm just like, it's an all going to work out kind of thing, but it will one way or another. It will all work out. So
it typically does. I mean, it typically does. So
I absolutely agree with Pam. I was going to say the same. Go. I was going to say the same exact thing. I mean, they were only focusing on, their main focus is on Toy Story Land anyway. You can only get, right now as it stands, you can only get one Toy Story Land Fast Pass anyway. So really what this does is I think it is going to open things up a little bit more. Maybe it will allow for that rolling Fast Pass option because, when I go, I try to utilize the rolling fast pass as much as possible. And when I get on, the app and I'm like, oh, it's all shows at at Hollywood Studios, I can't get a fast pass for any other ride, then I'm like, oh, that's kind of a bummer, So, I'm hoping that this means that it will open up some of these rides to me for later in the day so that I have more ability to make a fast pass, reservations for some of these rides that I want to get on later in the day with that rolling fast pass. And for me, I can honestly say I may not make my fast pass attraction or reservations for the shows. I might make the first one, and then once I use that first one, then see what pops up. It just kind of depends on how I want to play the game. Because for me, I mean, if I see a show, I see a show. If I don't see a show, I don't see a show. So I might play the game that way. But I saw somebody ask in the chat whether you can make rolling fast passes off the tier 1. Yes, you can after you use that all 3 of your fast passes. Day they don't, it doesn't matter. You can make once you've used your 3 fast passes, or that, in my case, once I use the 1 fast pass, I can make, because you're there day of, so you can make your fast passes for anything at that point if it pops up. So yeah.
All right, we have 2 questions I want to get to real quick. Rikki, what's the latest news on the Japan Steakhouse? Do we know? Somebody's asking in the live chat.
I saw that.
When does it open? What's the scoop?
So the Japan Steakhouse opens this summer. No official date yet. It is a signature dining location. It's called Takumi Tay. I butchered that. I apologize. And it will, like I said, it's going to be signature, so it will very much be 2 table service credits. Very expensive restaurant. It is not replacing anything. It is a brand new location that they are opening. So you're still going to get to go to Toledo or Tokyo Dining if you would like. I assume it's probably going to be pretty small since it is a signature restaurant. I assume that it won't have a lot of tables, but I know where they're building it. It's kind of in the front, so I don't really know, if there will be a lot of space for people. So I suspect that it might be a harder reservation to get as we move forward. But again, only time will tell on that, and we'll see how many tables the restaurant actually has.
And speaking of Japan, July 4th, 8:00, be there. We're having a big podcast meetup. It's a salute to all Walt Disney World podcasts, but mostly the BOGP. So be there. The rumor is we're working with Disney to have some fireworks at the end of our meet. So.
I'd be working.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough decision to come to whether we were going to pay all the money it was to do that kind of fireworks show or not. Yeah. And in the end, we really splurged.
We absolutely splurged. Yes.
Yeah. Pam said no cost. Whatever it takes. Let's have the end of this meet really have some sweet fireworks. So we'll see what happens. All right.
Yes. Spend that money. Listen
to this last question, though. Here, the last question. Greetings from a little island in the sea. Hi, Mike, Rikki, and Pam. I'm so happy to have come across this podcast. Your tips and tricks are the best. Wish we knew about it before we went on our last trip to Disney during Christmas 2017. We were traveling as a multi-generational group of 8, and even though I thought I had everything planned out, somehow I missed the fact that it would be beyond freezing at that time. We're planning another trip to the world in 2020, but I'm having a hard time convincing the others we should try it again at Christmas instead of summer, as I'm dying to go to a Christmas party after listening to your previous Christmas podcasts. Can you give me some pointers or advice that I could use to try to convince them? Secondly, what would you recommend besides renting a car as a method to get from Miami Airport to Disney? Coming from a 166 square mile island, Disney and Universal was just beyond our wildest imagination, and I would love to make our next trip out of this world. Keep up the great work. Regards, Danielle. She's in Mullins, Barbados.
Awesome. I've been to Barbados before. Yeah.
You.
Yeah, I was there. I went on a cruise one time. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So. All right. Well, you've been to a 166 square mile island. All right. So I would imagine, though, if you're from someplace, and I'm guessing the Caribbean, right? I mean, that's
Caribbean, yes.
Because some of those islands I get confused. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. So I would imagine that, maybe what we consider super cold, like being from St. Louis where it gets 20 below, maybe it was only, 30 or 40. Yeah, it was probably 40 or 50. I mean, I'd imagine that's pretty shockingly cold for somebody from the Caribbean. So what would you say? She's trying to convince them that she's a Christmas fan. She wants to go, and I get it because it's awesome. I mean, it's gorgeous, like walking through a Christmas special. What would you say? Give her some advice to feed to the rest of the travel party.
Which one of us?
Either one. Go ahead. Because
Yeah.
the second question about getting from Miami to Disney, really, I mean, renting a car is probably your best bet. There's really not.
Yeah, for sure with that. So I mean, I think that the holidays, first of all, here's some of my things. Here's how I saw my family each time we go for the holidays. One, Disney does a fantastic job decorating. I mean, let me tell you, I've mentioned that I have many trees in my house for the holidays, but Disney does an even better job decorating for the holidays than I do. So, I mean, that's awesome. And you want to know another thing that Disney does really well? The cooking.
No.
Like, hello, right there in itself, I think is totally worth being there. But I think really when you have the opportunity to travel, especially over a holiday, sometimes you think you may be missing out on something. But oftentimes what you're really gaining in the process is the ability to focus on the people that you're spending time with, like fully and wholly. It's really challenging, I think, at that time of year to focus on what you're supposed to be focusing on during the holiday season, right? Because you got to run out and buy stuff. And you got to cook stuff and you got to clean stuff. And you have these, family members coming over with, and you may have mixed feelings about those people. If you're all going to go and travel, the one thing that you'll get to do is really focus on those people that you're with. And I think this is true of any holiday travel, that being away from your normal and typical life allows you to focus on what's really important during that holiday season. And I think it's the number one reason for doing it.
Yeah, and two, here's something I think, a couple things that I think would be fun for somebody coming from the Caribbean. One is that, us three, Rikki's in Atlanta now, but she's from St. Louis, Pam's in Pittsburgh. I'm in St. Louis. Like, we kind of make fun of the soap snow, like on Main Street during the Christmas party. But you know what? If you're from the Caribbean and like you don't experience snow, how exotic is that? I mean, how cool is
right?
that to semi-pseudo experience a snow on Main Street with Christmas carols playing? That's awesome. And she mentioned about how it was cold. It's an opportunity to get some really get in the spirit, maybe buy some like ugly Christmas sweaters, and gloves. I mean, when else are you going to get to wear gloves, and stuff like that, really don't spend a fortune. But I mean, that's a chance to really, if it does get chilly, and it probably won't be chilly for more than a couple nights you're there. It's not going to be the deep freeze. I mean, I don't think so. I'm wearing shorts if it's 40, but I mean, it's a chance to really get in the spirit, wear a sweater, something like that. So Rikki closes out. I've
been there on Christmas Day. So I've been there, that time period, and the weather really can run the gambit. So you may be there when it's really warm and you may be there when it's really cold. It just really kind of depends. But yeah, I mean, I would steer into the, wearing the ugly Christmas sweaters. I would absolutely buy a few of those and, put those on and you're probably gonna have to wear pants. It does get cool in the evenings, so just keep that in mind. You will have to have pants, more than likely. But yeah, hot hands are going to be your friend if it does get chilly, and bring gloves, bring a scarf, because the weather does, especially in the evening, the weather does dip. I'm not going to, lie about that. It really does. But there is something so magical about being there at the holiday season that I promise you're going to have a great time.
And thank you so much for listening on Barbados. That's so cool.
Yes, that's awesome.
In the islands. I love that. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's question show. Send in your questions to Mike@BeOurGuestPodcast.com or join us around 5:30 Eastern on Facebook. We got a great Facebook page, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Next week, we're going to be opening the phone lines for episode 1500. You're going to call in and just share your memories of the show, any questions you have. We're just going to keep it wide open for episode 1500. So next Monday, we're going to do it on Sunday night, but it's Father's Day. Not a good idea. So fathers, get out there. Don't record a podcast and get yourself in trouble. So we're going to have a good time Monday night, normal time, 5:30 Eastern. Join us with your calls and, of course, your comments here live on Facebook. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News Disney Edition. Rikki, what are we reading about quickly this week on Theme Park News Disney Edition?
So at Disney Springs this summer, they are doing the Disney Springs Flavors of Florida event. So guests can go to about 20 different Disney Springs restaurants and try different dishes paired with beverages that are all inspired by the great state of Florida. So, there's things like at Amaret's Patisserie, a blood orange mousse, at deluxe burger. There's a southern burger and an orange cream milkshake at Homecomin. Pam, we may have to try this.
I
The
know.
Key West shrimp cocktail or the blood orange madras. There's key lime pie at House of Blues. So lots of different choices at almost all the restaurants at Disney Springs that have like those Florida flavors that are so important to the state. And of course, let me just mention the thing that is blowing up the internet right now at Wine Bar George. You're going to want to go for the Froscato cookie sandwich, which is frozen pineapple Froscato, which is Moscato, vodka, and Dole Whip pineapple sandwiched in between two house-made sugar cookies. I mean, yeah, this is what everybody's losing their minds over. So
It just looks good in the picture. I mean,
yes. So the Disney
It looks
Springs
pretty.
Yes, it does. The Disney Springs Flavors of Florida is going through September 2nd. So you have plenty of time to try all the different choices that you'd like to try.
There you go. So if you want to find out what to eat and what's happening on your next trip, check it out. Theme Park News Disney Edition over at virtualmickey.com. Free app for your iOS devices. Give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestPod and at @BeOurGuestMike. Of course, drop by the Facebook page as well and shop. When you do that shopping on Amazon, use our Amazon affiliate link. We appreciate that so much. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And don't forget, you can still sign up for the virtual 5Ks that we're doing on Castaway Cay, but you can do them at home on the same day at the end of this month and the beginning of July. So just drop by Be Our Guest Podcast.
And the weather here has been fantastic. I know, like I like to complain about the weather in the winter, but it has been very nice here lately. So I really can't complain too much. We've had a lot of deck time so far this year. I think more than we did last year, almost the whole season. So it's been nice. So.
All right. Well, hey, let's dive into this. It is summer. And I think, when I think of summer, there's a few resorts that pop really into my mind. I think I don't know why this is. It's kind of weird when it comes to Walt Disney World. There's just certain things that like seasonal, like Wilderness Lodge, Christmas, Pop Century, summer. That's a summer resort for me. And Yacht and Beach Club, definitely a summer resort because, I'm a guy that's never been up to where this is themed after. I've never been into the Northeast New England. Never done that. And of course that's kind of, boardwalk. I consider these three kind of all like a triumvirate there. It's like the group of three around Crescent Lake, but this resort is very much a summer resort to me in my mind, because I think it's Stormalong Bay. It's got the sandy beach, it's beautiful. So let's just kind of dive into the basics. Pam, we'll start with you. So of course, Disney's Yacht and Beach Club resorts, two sister resorts, both deluxe resorts in the Epcot area resorts. So you can walk to Disney's Hollywood Studios. You can walk to Epcot. So give us kind of the background. If people have never stayed there, never even considered Yacht and Beach, what comes to mind first?
So for me, the Yacht and Beach Club, I think is, it was one of when they started doing that expansion and adding other resorts to the Walt Disney World Resort area, it was added during that time. Actually, in the beginning, we need someone who's better at Disney history than I am, let me say, to do this. I'll do a little segment, but you could actually take a tram from Yacht and Beach Club and it would leave you off right there at the International Gateway. You did. So the mysterious little patch of grass that used to be like that big oval patch of grass that used to be there was actually more of an entrance there because you would be dropped off there more often. I think actually there might have been some buses or something else. Maybe it was just the tram that dropped you off there as well, but there was more of a covering and things like that. So anyways, but for me, I think that the Yacht and Beach Club is actually one of the best properties on Disney property for a couple of reasons. It just has a ton of amenities. The decor is great. The location's fantastic. Dining, top notch. And just so much to do. So I think it has a little bit of everything. It appeals to everyone. And by the way, that pool though, could there be a better pool? So so many reasons to consider this for a stay.
Yeah, I agree. I think, when you're looking at Yacht and Beach Club, you need to make sure that you're focusing on having some time at the resort. This is not a place to go because you're going to be going first thing in the morning and not getting back to your hotel till 10 o'clock at night, using it to, some people say, I use the room to sleep and shower. That's not what you should do when you stay at Beach Club. You want to make sure that you almost take a full day. I mean, I can't tell you this enough. Have a full day at Stormalong Bay. Disney's Beach Club, I'm looking at our resort guides over at themagicforless.com. There's 576 rooms. But while you're there, the dining, there's 2 quick service locations, a full service restaurant and Cape May Cafe. You got the pool bar, Hurricane Hannah's, 2 lounges. You got in-room dining 24 hours a day. It's just, there's so much to do there. You got Stormalong Bay. It's got 4 whirlpools. You got the arcade. You can rent boats. You got the marina. You can do the cruise. You can do fishing out of the yacht club. We did that with the Yerks. We caught a big turtle. It was crazy. We didn't mean to catch turtle, but we did. Just like on the end of one of our fishing rods. It's a great place to run. It's got a health club. It's got a massage and spa services. I mean, it's just Beach Club has it all. So does Yacht Club because they share things. So Rikki, when you think of Yacht and Beach, what do you initially think of?
Ironically, it's a resort that I've never stayed at technically, but it still feels like home, which I know is a weird thing for someone who's never stayed at either one of those resorts, but there's just this comfortability I have there at both of those resorts that, they bring such a homey atmosphere to me. And I think that that's, something that not necessarily a lot of people get. Some people think, especially like the Yacht Club, they think it's very stuffy because it has the, the wood coloring and stuff like that. But when you take the resort as an overall, together and combine them, the dichotomy of the two pairs together so nicely. And it really feels like home. It's just, it's a great place to, like Pam said, sit back, relax, enjoy a meal, and enjoy exploring. There's so much at this resort. And of course, if you actually do get to stay here, you have that fantastic pool, which, I mean, how awesome is a sand bottom pool? I mean, come on, they've got a lazy river and, the water slide that's in a pirate ship. And I mean, really, seriously, it's an incredible resort. And it's on my bucket list of places to actually stay at some point. But it's totally an immersive, fantastic experience. And you cannot beat the distance to 2 amazing Walt Disney World theme parks. You're so close to Epcot, and of course you're so close to Disney's Hollywood Studios. You've got the boat transportation to both, and as we always know, everything is better on a boat, so that's good too. And I do. I love these resorts. They're just home to me.
So let's hop into, it's kind of crazy that we can do this. Let's talk about tips for Stormalong Bay, the pool at Yacht and Beach Club real quick. And Pam, we've both stayed at both Yacht and Beach at some point and, really, taking advantage of this. And we made a day out of just staying at the pool. So we got out there super early, right as we actually rope dropped the pool that last summer, I think it was. And we went up to that raised kind of gazebo area and got some loungers and kind of set up camp for the day. Then we got into the pool. But, I think tips with Stormalong Bay, it does get busy. You have to be staying at Yacht and Beach to go in. They check your magic bands to make sure of that. But once you're in, it's just, there's tons of loungers. And there's like little nooks and crannies everywhere that you can lay out and put your stuff. But, we got that top area that worked out great for us. We kind of had a view of Crescent Lake, a view of all the pool. So how do you make a good use of a day at Stormalong Bay?
So I think, first of all, one of the things that you're going to want to do during your day at Stormalong Bay is make a meal plan, and you have the great Peaches and Cream right there. We've been able to, oftentimes when we couldn't get an ADR, just walk up and say, hey, we have this is the size of our party. When can we fit in? Like, we don't mind waiting. We usually try right there around 11 o'clock when they open up, and usually they can get us in that day. There's been very few times when that was not possible. If you're not going to be able to eat there, the other place you can eat, of course, is Hurricane Hannah's Grill, which is located right there in the pool area. At certain times of the year and certain times of the day, they'll have wait staff that come around that will get your drink order and can bring you food as well from that location. So consider that as well. Another thing you're going to want to do is try and figure out the different parts of the pool that you want to visit. So there's essentially, a few different areas of the pool. Down at one end is the sand bottom that's really designed for younger kids. It's a shallow pool. You'll see a lot of kids building sand castles and all of that. Then there's actually a lazy river section, and the water is deep there.
Yeah,
It can get up to 9 feet, I believe, is as deep as it gets in that location. They usually do have some kind of inner tubes or something like that you can use for people who want some help floating, but you can also just float around, yourself if you want to. There are a couple different areas for hot tubs if you're looking for that, so consider that. There's also another area that is down in this other location, sort of nearby where the where the slide lets out. So know that all of these waterways are not necessarily connected. There are some different bodies of water. There's lots of waterfalls. There's lots of whatever. So if you're traveling with younger kids or someone who gets confused easily, make sure that you're sort of leading them to the area and explaining how they get back to where you are, or if there's someone that you can leave for a period of time. Even that, it's like confusing to get back to. So it's confusing to get back to where you were. And sometimes you have to go up and down a bridge to get back to where you were. So that kind of thing can be confusing. There's always going to be a sort of kids' activities at a certain point. They wheel out the little cart, the music starts, and let the games begin. There's all kinds of stuff. One of the last times we were there, we actually saw some of the characters come out and join in some of the fun games that they were playing. So, I mean, it really is a pool that you can spend the day at. There's just so much to do and so many little locations to see. It doesn't get boring.
Yeah, we were there last summer. I think it was Goofy and Minnie were out there, doing hula hoops, dancing with the kids. I mean, it was like a planning video. You don't see that often, but I was like, this is awesome. Like
it really is.
And also one other thing just to keep an eye on is that if your kids are, I do it all the time, the flying jib slide, which is the cool slide, it's Stormalong Bay. You do actually have to leave the pool area, cross the running path, and go up the stairs over there. And there's a small slide too that you can go down, like for the little kiddies over there. But you do have to kind of leave the pool area proper, exit that, go across the path, go up. So just keep an eye on your kids. Once they do it once, they'll be fine. But I'd go out there and walk them to that the first time because they're gonna be excited to do it again. But it's a great slide. It's a ton of fun. All right, so Stormalong Bay, great thing. Now here's another thing I'm gonna jump in on this show about is that you got beach and yacht clubs, sister resorts. Mm-hmm. Pam, rooms are the same, right? I mean, they're different themed. I mean, obviously a beach theme, a nautical theme, but I mean, if you're staying in yacht or beach, there's not really an advantage other than aesthetics, right? To the basic rooms.
It is the decor. So I think the one thing I would say is the beach club is a little bit closer to Epcot, right? Mm-hmm. The yacht club is sort of a little bit closer to Hollywood Studios and closer to the boat dock, but we're talking like steps. I mean, in a day when you're going to do 10,000 or more steps, you're talking about like maybe 20 steps difference or maybe 30 steps. So it's not really that big of a deal. The other thing is that, the yacht club has their own restaurants, the beach club has their own restaurants, but again, we're talking about, from this side of the resort to the other. Know that depending on where you're staying at either resort, your room could be located at the end of that wing. So like if I'm staying at the end of the yacht club wing, which by the way, I never not stay there because they have some great views. And if you have a water view that sort of looks out over towards the boardwalk, but if you're staying there, you're going to be pretty close to the Swan and Dolphin at that point and the boardwalk at that point. You're far. And the same thing for the beach club. And there's not that many sets of elevators. You may be better off taking the stairs either way. So some tips there.
Yeah, and I will say, and Phil says kind of what I was thinking in the live chat here is that the updated rooms at Yacht Club are just really, really sweet. I mean, they are rooms. We're staying there at post cruise when we go down in July. Just because there's a lot of reasons why you might pick one over the other. Obviously the thematic thing, if my wife always said before we stayed there, I've said this on the show before, like beach club felt like it was for families. Yacht club felt like it was for couples. Like she felt like we should not be walking through there with kids. Like it's too dark. Like the woods are dark. It's quiet. And I think it was just, I've seen kids in yacht club. I mean, it's not always, but beach club does seem to always have more of an energy than yacht. Just in the lobby. So I get where she was saying that, but I mean, typically I can find a better discount slightly at Yacht Club than beach. It's just because maybe it's not so popular as, maybe people don't think of it first. Maybe people think of it second. So I can usually get more of a discount sometimes at Yacht Club. So I stay there for that reason, because it's the same thing. But I don't know. And Rikki, so the restaurants, let's go Yacht Club, because I think Yacht Club really has something for the diners. Of course, Beach Club's got Cape May Cafe and Beaches and Cream, but I mean, Yacht Club has Yachtsman Steakhouse. It has Ale and Compass. It has a Hidden Secret Cruise Cup Lounge.
Yes.
It's got a lot of good dining options.
It does.
It does. And, Ale and Compass is one of my favorite places to go and have dinner or breakfast. They have added my lovely chocolate waffles back on the menu, which makes me so very happy. But I've had some really great other options there too. Actually, my brother's partner was there, and he got it was like what was it? It was like it was deliciously, I'm trying to look at the menu to try to see what it was. It was like a Eggs Benedict. That's exactly what it was. It was the Eggs Benedict with poached eggs, smoked pork loin, roasted tomatoes, and an English muffin. And I don't usually go for like a savory option, but I wanted to try it because, I was trying everything on the menu that everybody ordered. And oh my gosh, this blew me away with how delicious this Eggs Benedict was. Especially for something because I usually I choose for the sweeter options. So I would absolutely get this again, the Eggs Benedict. And that's saying a lot for me, but I've had the salted caramel French toast there as well. Of course, my waffles. For lunch, I've had the my brother had the roasted cauliflower that's buffalo style, which is served with ranch, which is also very, very good. I've had sandwiches there for lunch. They have great options for dinner too. I mean, really, seriously, there are so many things. I don't want to talk about it because I know, it means people will go there. But because then it means I can't get a reservation there. But it really is one of my favorite places to go that nobody goes to. Yachtsman is one of the best dinners that I've ever had, and I'm so excited because we might be going there this summer when we go in July. I'm not entirely sure. I know we've discussed it. So Yachtsman has one of the best steaks I've ever had in my entire life. If you're looking for a nice cut of meat, Yachtsman is the place to go. They have just filet mignon and strip steak and porterhouse and Wagyu beef, and I'm drooling just thinking about all of it. Like, it's I can't. I'm really hoping that this is the option that we go with. And then they have lots of different sides that you can choose from too. I think they're served family style, or sort of family style. Where two people can eat them. But it's seriously, it's just, I love Yachtsman too. And they really do. And of course, Cruise Cup has like the best burger, like on property. I think I've heard. I haven't had their burger, but I hear it's absolutely fantastic. So, I really love Yacht Club for food. I know it doesn't. It gets overshadowed by its sister. With all the options that Beach Club has, but Yacht Club. I have Yachtsman on the brain.
You do. You have Yachtsman on the brain.
Yacht Club really has some fantastic options too.
I think Yacht Club wins out in dining. I mean, with Yachtsman's and Ale and Compass and Cruise Cup. And Cruise Cup is, it's a kind of a hidden gem. I think people talk about it on podcasts and blogs and so forth. But you're right, it does have good burger, great fries. It is kind of a very chill atmosphere. It's just it's off to the side there. It's so good. So Pam, one other thing though I want to address about Yacht and Beach, because I mean, if you think about it, if you're staying at either, you can take advantage of the dining at both. And I actually extend that over. It's not that far of a walk to go over and see something like a Big River or Flying Fish or the ESPN Zone Grill, whatever it's called.
That place is.
The Boardwalk Bakery. I mean, you got a lot of options. I mean, a lot of good places to eat. But one of the places I think that Yacht and Beach and Boardwalk struggle is when it comes to, and this is where the moderates and the values sing, is that food court, the quick service for the kids and even for the adults who don't want to, do anything fancy, sit down for a restaurant. So what do you say to that?
Well, so I think you have a couple of other options. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Jocelyn is sitting there listening to our podcast right now saying, guess what? You can walk to the bakery in France, right?
Of course, Jocelyn is. Yes.
So that is always an option. And it's great because I loved when Epcot decided to open the Bakery in France in the morning as soon as Epcot opens, because I think it's a great option for people. You get to try a beautiful French pastry or something else from there, and that's a great option to stick in at least one of your days when you're going to be trying to do that. The other thing I think is that you have the option of the Boardwalk Bakery, which is over at the Boardwalk. And again, the Boardwalk really doesn't have a good breakfast spot in the hotel either. They do offer some little continental breakfast things right there in the Bellevue Lounge, but the Boardwalk Bakery has some more interesting options, so you can always try there as well. And the other thing that I think that a lot of people forget about is that you're within walking distance too to Swan and Dolphin, which have a few choices for breakfast meals as well. So lots of things to consider there. But I think so many people, oftentimes get sort of bogged down in the what do you have for breakfast, and I absolutely agree with them, because it's hard at times to do that. But between those options, I think that you'll still be able to find some good counter service locations.
Well, too, last time I was at Yacht Club, and I think actually Phil, he's live in our chat with us. His family kind of had like or no, it wasn't Phil. It was another listener I was thinking of. Is it Rikki? Is it called the Ale and Compass like marketplace?
Yes,
it's improved. It's much improved, because the one at the Beach Club is not that hot, but that one's better than the Beach Club when I think for like a little grab and go.
Agreed.
It's better. It's not great. I agree with you. I feel like they do lack a little bit in the quick service options at the Yacht and the Beach Club. I mean, even though they've definitely improved what they have, I mean, I don't even think the Yacht Club had anything before they built the market. So, the fact that they've added something when there was nothing really is a big plus. But I do feel like, every once in a while I'll go to the Yacht or the Beach Club at the end of the night, and I want something snacky, and I'll go into either the marketplace or the other place, and I'm just like, oh, God, there's nothing here that I want, so like I feel like they are missing out on something. But then again, I feel like a lot of the deluxe resorts miss out on that, like we've talked about with Gasparilla Grill at the Grand Floridian. I feel like that's just a sad little place to go for a quick bite too. So I feel like that's just a problem that a lot of the deluxe resorts have, especially from like that time period. They did not really include much in the way of quick service options at any of those resorts that were built in that time period, in my opinion.
I mean, because I think they really wanted it to be like a destination, like fancy. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the theme, if you're thinking about, I haven't been up to that area of the country, but I mean, I guess it is kind of a fancier upscale kind of I guess you still got to have quick meals.
Right. Come on. If I want a snack at the end of the night, like I want a snack at the end of the night, I want something sweet, and there's like two sad little pastries in there, and I'm just like, okay, never mind. Maybe I don't.
But wait, the Yacht and Club, the Ale and Compass market has my favorite cookies on property.
Oh, of course
they do. Little Spanish, they call them like Spanish wedding cookies. They're really good. They don't always have them. They typically do, and at different times of the year, like they had pumpkin spice flavored ones at some point. But if you're there, check them out, and if I'm behind you, don't buy the last bag.
Got it.
All right, so let's talk transportation here. So we kind of mentioned it. It's kind of like it's like you got it really good, or you got it really kind of a challenge. Is that if you want to go to the studios or Epcot, you can walk to either probably in 10 to 15 minutes, easy, slow walk. You can also take the friendship boats right outside your hotel there, and they will stop at the Swan and Dolphin and go one way or the other to the studios or to Epcot. But if you want to go to the Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, here's the thing that I struggle with when it comes to deluxe resorts. And Pam, I know you always rent a car. Rikki, I know you have a car because you drive because you're in Atlanta. But if you're somebody who's depending on Disney transportation, this is always kind of a struggle for me. Wilderness Lodge, same thing, Polynesian, Grand Floridian, Contemporary, is that shared bus. I wish that Disney could work that out because I know Beach Club, Yacht Club, Boardwalk all share a bus. And that's a struggle for me to go to the Magic Kingdom. So Pam, what do you think about that? I mean, is it a situation where maybe you catch an Uber and a minivan to supplement to go to those parks, or do you just suck it up and say it's going to be an extra 15 minutes?
That's rough. Because it's actually really my personal struggle all the time as to what to do there. We have on occasion when we've stayed there not had a car and used bus transportation and have been pretty happy with it most of the time. So I think it's something that you can consider. I think the fact that you can walk to 2 of the theme parks makes it there's nothing else. There's nowhere else that you can do that. Walk to 2 theme parks like that. Even places that are on the monorail line, you can't walk to 2 theme parks. You just can't. And the monorail's different than being able to walk there. So I think that's huge. Plus you have the boat transportation too. So we've generally been pretty happy with the transportation there. And I think that people don't have to rent a car if they really don't want to.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I mean, that's one thing that I think could be improved, but I don't know the logistics of, would those buses always have 7 people on them if there was just a beach
right.
going to the Magic Kingdom? And I know that's not efficient, but it does fire me up when, when I see like it's going to 3 resorts and I'm paying, deluxe prices, and then the Pop Century bus is, it's a dedicated line, but I mean, it's also a gigantic resort compared to it's all about guest flow and how they get people here to there. But that's one of my struggles. So Rikki, what do you say to that? I mean, is it one of those things like if you're staying on property and you don't have a car, you suck it up and ride the bus? Because I mean, you get to walk to the studios in Epcot. That's awesome. I mean, it's a trade-off, I guess. Everything in Disney is a trade-off.
Yeah, that's true. Everything is a trade-off. And I guess it depends on, how quickly you need to get to, you only have to choose 1 or 2, 2 places to go on bus. So Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom. So if you're going to be spending a lot of time at either of those 2 parks, then I would say either rent a car or maybe use Uber or, a minivan or whatever. Or you can take the bus. I mean, if you're cool with, taking the bus and going to those other resorts and stuff like that, then take the bus. But having that if you're planning on spending more time at Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios, then, I mean, you can't beat that transportation with a boat or walking. I mean, that's just the best right there. So I guess it kind of depends on what you're looking for with your vacation, of where you're planning on spending the most amount of time. And that's the best option for that.
Yeah, I would close it out with just saying that for me, because, I'll be staying at Yacht Club and I will not have a car. We're flying down, take a Magical Express. We're not renting a car or anything. It's very situational. And I think it's what you said, Rikki, is that, if I don't feel like dealing with, X, Y, or Z, I may take an Uber over to the Contemporary and walk, into the Magic Kingdom. At the end of the night, I may do the reverse to get back if I'm super tired. But I mean, if I'm going back in the middle of the day and I'm not in a rush and I just want to get off my feet, if I'm sitting on an air-conditioned bus and I got to swing through Boardwalk and Yacht Club and I'm staying at beach, no big deal. I'm in an air-conditioned bus. I'm taking in the Disney music. I'm with my family. So I think, and I can save $10, so right. It's very situational. I think that's how you got to kind of look at it. The same thing with minivans. If you're going to say you're going, from the Yacht Club and you want to go to have a nice meal at the California Grill, you probably don't want to take a bus to the Magic Kingdom all dressed up. You'd rather take maybe a minivan and really make it a special night, something like that.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's give like one tip as we close this out, because we don't want to make this one too long. I think most people have a pretty good grasp on these 2 resorts, Yacht and Beach Club. But here's my tip, and I would say it for Yacht Club, is that they have a full service marina that comes out of the Yacht Club side. And you can do things like rent boats to take out there. It's where you can go out for Illuminations cruises, at least for right now. But one of the things we did, and thank you to Mark Yerkes, we're going to do this again, looking up here very soon in July, is that we got on a pontoon boat, a bunch of us, and we had the time of our lives fishing in World Showcase Lagoon, and in between Yacht Club and World Showcase Lagoon, some of the positions we stopped. I'm not a fisherman at all. Like, my dad didn't take me to fish. He didn't fish. I just had never really done it. And the thing about this is we went out there, and it was, I went out there. It was Steve and Hannah were with us. Paige went with me. Mark was with us. Scott was with us. We had like the best group of friends, and, our daughters were there too, which made it even better. And you don't have to know how to fish at all. Cause like, I didn't know how to bait a hook, really. I mean, I knew what you're supposed to do, kind of, but I didn't know, like, all these tricks to, casting, get it here, get it there. The cast member that's on that boat is like an expert fisherman. Like, he knows everything. And the good thing is they can tell stories. I think fishermen are great at telling big tales. he was that kind of guy, but he made us very comfortable. He would bait your hook if you wanted him to, but I felt bad. But I mean, you know, if you pulled in a fish, which again, Scuba Steve, I think, was under the boat hooking them up for us, so we all felt good about ourselves. But it was a really cool time. And it's one of those things like, it's kind of vacation adjacent. You don't go to Walt Disney World to go fishing. Well, Mark Yerkes does. That's what I don't fish with him. But I mean, like for me, it was just like after that trip, I came home and I'm like, one of the coolest things I've ever done at Walt Disney World was fish in World Showcase Lagoon. And Paige pulled out like a shark, man. This thing was huge. It was a big bass. And we've talked about that forever. So I think you gotta look at your resort, because, you know, certain resorts have certain things that you're not going to think of on the surface. You're going to think about Stormalong Bay. You're going to think about walking to Epcot. You're going to think about going to Yachtsman. But I mean, maybe, just maybe give that a shot, because you don't have to be a fisherman. You might have a good day out on the water fishing. So that's my tip for Yacht Club. Pam, do you have anything for Yacht or Beach that people maybe need to think about?
I think one of the selling points again for any of the deluxe resorts is the increase in amenities. And I think sometimes, you know, people forget that these rooms can accommodate up to 5 people. So there is a bonus there for larger parties, you know, that you do have the addition of what is essentially the day bed as an option in the standard room. And I think that's really nice to have. There is an increased level of amenities at the resort. The theming is really great. You're going to find little magical touches places. They're going to do things like yoga on the beach and other things. Not that other resorts don't do that, but I think you're going to see more things like that in the recreation schedule that may appeal to you. Remember that they do show movies at the Yacht and Beach Club. They don't do it on the beach anymore, but they do it in kind of a grassy area near the volleyball courts. And they do roast s'mores there too. They have the campfire and things like that. So you're going to want to look at that recreation schedule when you get there and see what all the things that they have available for you during your stay. I think it's awesome to do that. Step away from the parks for a while and enjoy that resort that you paid for. I don't think you'll ever regret that time.
It's also an awesome place to stay for marathon weekend to watch the marathoners come through. Because, I mean, you literally walk out of your room and they're right there in the path. I mean, just throwing that out there if you want to see runners. All right, Rikki, close us out. Last tip for Yacht and Beach.
So if you are looking to maybe, it's your check-in night or whatever, and you're just getting to the hotel and you want to, kind of relax around the resort, things like that. A little sneak thing is that you can see some of the fireworks from both Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Now, you're not going to be able to see the whole show, of course, because you're ground level. But, like especially Epcot, there's the projections and a lot of low fireworks and things like that. But you can see some of the higher ones. So if you're wanting to just kind of enjoy a night at the resort and get a little extra Disney magic while you're there, you can absolutely see some of the show. And I think you can kind of hear a little bit of the music too. So that part's kind of nice too. So again, if you're just looking for something kind of low key to do on that first night, that's a great thing to do.
All right. And also great for runners. It's got a great path around Boardwalk, Yacht Club, Beach Club, and you just head over to the studios and run around that little right by security and run back. It's a great place to run. Great place. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you learned a little bit about Yacht and Beach Club. Maybe not. Maybe just get you excited for going back. I'm sure excited to be at Yacht Club on July 3rd. Not that I'm counting the days or anything, but I can't wait to get my toes in that Stormalong Bay, get the sand between my toes, go down the flying jib slide, and have a great time with friends. So check it out. Maybe you've never stayed there. It is both resorts. A lot of fun. So you can't really go wrong. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by our friends over at the Magic for Less Travel. When it comes time for that next Disney adventure, check out themagicforless.com. Of course, we got lots of stuff happening right now. The fall 2020 itineraries with Disney Cruise Line are out. The ships are going to some of the familiar places, some new places. Here's what I say. Drop by themagicforless.com. At the top, there's that bar. Check on Disney destinations, go down to Disney Cruise Line, and there's an itineraries tab. Look there because it breaks it down by destination, ships, dates, so forth. And you can kind of see what kind of falls into what you're looking for. And you get the exact dates. And then while you're there, fill out the quote form. An agent will get back to you right away. Check the availability, the pricing. They can even hold the stateroom for you for 3 days. You can see the details directly from Disney Cruise Line. And most importantly, you're getting an onboard credit to spend just like cash on your cruise. And that's better than booking with Disney Cruise Line directly because the price is the same, but you're getting free money when you book with the Magic for Less. So check them out for that. Of course, something about packages for 2020 coming out here very soon. So you know, it's happening next week. So stay tuned for that. And we're going to be booking all the way through December 31st, 2020. Can it be? We're going to be booking a day away from 2021. What happened?
Goodness.
It's crazy. This time is so flying. I know I'm old, but man, through December 31st, 2020. That's crazy. So stand by for that. Again, just jump in there, themagicforless.com, fill out the quote form, and agent will get back to you right away. Let them know you heard about them here on the Be Our Guest podcast. Again, themagicforless.com. As you do that shopping this weekend, it's Friday. You know what? Amazon has been getting stuff there next day. Forget about 2-day shipping. I've been getting my stuff the next day as a Prime member.
Crazy.
So if you haven't gotten Dad something, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Get him a great gift and use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You're welcome, dads. And thank you to everybody who used the link. All right, give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestPod and at @BeOurGuestMike. And of course, the Facebook page is at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. We got the Double Dip 5K. Sign up for that virtual run over at beourguestpodcast.com. And we're having a salute to all WDW podcasts, but mostly the BOGP on July 4th, 8 o'clock, Japan. Be there. We have a family coming from Norway, Rikki. Already.
Dude, I saw that. That's awesome.
How awesome is that? I know. It's so
I know, it really is.
She's like, I'm not going to bring a Norway flag. That'd be disrespectful. I'm like, no, bring the Norway flag. We can't bring that. That's awesome.
That's fantastic. I love it.
So
Yes.
cool. I love it. So, man, I'm just looking forward to this. Just friends new, friends old. It's going to be a blast at Epcot July 4th. So please be there 8 o'clock. And we're going to try. Here's the deal. Try to be there like at 8:30. We're going to do a big group picture. We got to take a big group picture right around 8:30. So if you know, and then we'll kind of go whatever you got to do. But 8:30, we'll try to do a big picture. That'll be fun. All right. So we're going to get out of here. Let's get on through the weekend. Happy Father's Day, everybody. So for Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike. Wishing you a great weekend. Stay safe. And we'll see you real soon. Good.
Boom.
Boom. That's a show.
That is. All right. So I will see you all next Monday.
Correct.
Monday.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Have a good one.
All right.
All
Bye.
right, we'll see y'all.
See ya. Bye. Edited. All right, Facebook. Thanks for joining. Sorry we had tech issues. I will work on that. It kind of popped up on me there. So you guys have a good Monday night. Let's go Blues. Phil, James, Karen, Lauren, everybody. Ciao. Thanks again. Love you guys. See you soon.